I've actually forgotten the last time that I have actually physically seen sunlight. But we're up. I'm hungry. I look like death. I feel like death. And it is time to discuss what the hell is happening in our metagame this week, shall we? So YCS Bochum, is that what it was? It's come to a close. We still have a UDS cooking somewhere over in wherever the hell it was. Deception is what? X2 with Magical Musketeers. I'll try to get the list from Ed. If not, somebody else will get it. And we'll profile it with my opinion on it. But that's one interesting thing. But World Chalice versus Pendulum Edition in the finals. Y'all thought we had this format figured the fuck out, right? Same. So I did a metagame discussion back in beginning of the month. I was talking about 13 viable decks. And something I've been trying to allude to is the European metagame and the American metagame. Though we are under the same quote-unquote ban list, same sets, same everything, there's a major difference between our players and theirs. For some reason, North America loves the fucking shit out of Pendulum Editions. Now, not quite sure why this might be. It's just, for some reason, we've always enjoyed the Pendulum mechanic. Now, when I think of my European metagame, I think of my 60 card decks, and honestly, a lot more Burning Abyss. You know, I was seeing more Burning Abyss coming up on the rogue side from South America and even European regions. And then you have the YCS this weekend. What was it? 8 different decks in Top Cut, which actually isn't bad at all. I've heard a lot of people talking about this is one of the most diverse formats we've ever had. This is very true. But you have to let these players come out of their comfort zone. 1,900 people for an event definitely proves that the more rogue there is, the more those Pendulum Magician players are going to get the shit beat out of them because they're not going to know what the fuck is coming in. You know, formats like this, in terms of development and exploration, if you truly have 13 decks ranging from Tier 1 to Tier 2, and any one of those decks can overcome the other deck, you know, the only thing debating or keeping those Tier 2 decks from being Tier 1 is probably their own goddamn consistency. But let me tell you, if a World Chalice player can consistently not brick with his deck, then it's going to be his day, right? Same thing with the 60 card Lightsworn variants that we've kind of come to see and know and love in this game. You know, if it's your day, it's your day. You know, numbers and consistencies, it's interesting because people always talk about statistics when it comes to these types of things. But when those abnormalities occur that allow you to basically go beyond, you know, the fucking Ultra Instinct, you know, if you just go yourself, ugh, God, terrible English here, then you'll basically just do your thing. Like, I've seen this before because I've done it. You know, you can have a fucking total pile of shit, and as long as it functions, you know, like, take, what was it, Calvin DeHaan's True Draco ABC deck? Deck was a fucking pile of shit. But you know what? It's just got to function through the one event. You know? There's so many people that are constantly like, how does this work? Like, why would I play this? You know, this is total shit. But it's just got to get you through the one event. So, that's the one downside for net decking. If your Ethereum for the one day worked out, and like 4,000 other people try to copy it, and that shit don't work, well, bad news for you. So, this format is going down as one of the most diverse ones we've ever had. Utop Exexel in the finals of a YCS. Fucking World Chalice. Fucking World Chalice has a YCS win now. Just, remember that. And always remember, guys, Zephyr goes in the other category. But this format still has, honestly, more room to be explored. If the European and the American metagames are truly this different, then that makes me excited because that means things across different regionals, they're going to be different. I mean, it was what, 7, 8, 9 True Draco in Top Cut? That's a fucking lot for how like much of that deck has been effectively neutered and tries to still work, but you're not seeing that much on the TCG side. No, The TCG side, you saw Spirals being piloted by one of the best Spiral players we've ever seen, but you didn't see that on the European side. Instead, on the European side, the rogue choices were World Chalice and Zephyr getting in. I think you're going to consistently see that too. If you going into a major event and you are quote-unquote playing rogue, just go into the event playing what you know best, play your attribute, and you'll probably get rewarded for it. Yugioh and rewards. Now, on the flip side of this equation, we do have an FTK in this format, and I've seen plenty of fucking videos this week. Every fucking one's pulling out their goddamn ding doodle and they're talking about this, alright? I might follow suit as well. So, before we get into that, my local metagame has been nothing but Pendulum Magician FTK. The last Thursday and double Saturday locals this week were all won by Pendulum Magician FTK. Now, having an FTK in a format isn't bad because we have Gem Knights. And you know what happens? Gem Knights, they inherently lose to themselves because you have to play Gem Knight cards. Does it mean that Gem Knights are going to get cleaned up on the next ban list because they're like a tier 3 FTK? Quite possibly, but here's the thing. Just because we have an FTK doesn't mean that the format is shit. Now, contrary to popular belief, there are specialized group of people in this game that, like me, being someone that enjoys watching paint dry and playing stun decks, there are people out there that thrive on FTKs. Now, having FTKs in the game isn't bad because you're going to have another side of players in this game that get the chance to explore and try to degenerize things. Now, it's good and bad for two reasons. You have the player base means that Konami missed something, and they're testing for building a ban list or something else. Congratulations, something kind of slipped through the crack and they didn't figure it out, which means that players are innovating the game, which is a very good thing. Just means you're going to have to, and on the flip side, just means you're going to have to deal with an FTK until it gets banned for a couple weeks. Not a terrible trade-off to mean that there is still some level of innovation in this game. Like, I got to give it to the people that figured out Magician FTK. Congratulations. You got something through the cracks I don't think a lot of people had realized. Now, the deck has consistency issues from what I understand, which means going into a 4 to 5 round tournament, such as locals, the deck should be your probable pick every time. Consistency. It's just got to work for 4 to 5 rounds, right? And as long as you're playing against, I'm not going to use the word trash, but, literal other decks that aren't as good as Pendulum Magician FTK, congratulations, freest win ever. It's a bad way to look at it, but, it's best for the farming results, and that's exactly what they're going for. So, there's that. The format's not as bad as people make it out to be. I'm still on this fucking spiral kick over here. I still think One Sleepy Boy is good, but now that kaijus are starting to kind of rear their ugly head back into the format, it makes me cry every time. But you know what? In a format where you can literally play one of 13 decks, I know there are a lot of people out there like, but it's still the same fucking 13 decks. Like, give us something else. All right, you're just being greedy at this point in time. I understand your pain. I understand you're like, we need more. But, yeah, remember, the TCG could have gave us needle fiber. And life could have been way fucking worse. I think we got off with a slap on the wrist, honestly, at this point in time to get the chance to enjoy a diverse format. This is usually just the calm before the storm, though. I definitely wouldn't start counting our eggs for a good format yet, because just because it's good now doesn't mean the release of needle fiber or the release of Cherubni, something devastating could happen in the future. Goki Troy Mare it's on the edge of the horizon. There's a lot of things coming soon. It's just enjoy your diversity while you have it, because nothing lasts forever, especially in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh. But until then, you know what? Gotta give it to you, Astrograph Sorcerer. I can't believe you weren't fucking limited to 1. Yeah, I fucking hate that card. It's so stupid. Like, I understand Broken to an extent. I understand Double Iris Skullcrobat Joker are probably your better hits, but Jesus, Konami. Like, Astrograph. Like, did you just ignore that one on purpose? Like, That card needs to go to 2 or 1 just to fucking get rid of it. That or change your order of operations on resolving effects. Like, do something, you know? Next ban list will be Electromite banned. We'll be like, oh, but we still have 3 Astrograph. And everybody will be like, but why though? But you know what? Metal Foes with Metal Foes, Zephyra, all being able to use Electromite, you know, it's 3 pendulum decks, all pretty much functioning on the exact same axis. It's not a bad thing, once again. Comes into creativity, but they're all still pretty much using the same engine. So what do you guys think about ye olde diversity? Woo! I love it. It's a good sign of a good format. Just remember, Utopic Zekel, and remember, Saruja and the Soul Charge. Response? Well, you don't have one. Fuck. So, we'll have some deck list up from the weekend. I know Farfa's got a bunch of them up on his channel, Nataroni Macaroni. I'll borrow some of those and do some discussions on those, because I'm very curious to know about that Fresh World Chalice deck, and just how great he felt after the event. So, alright guys, remember, have a good rest of your day. Hopefully. We'll have some good content up, hopefully, this week.